And I've entitled this message, The King's Court. And what I mean by that is where the king hangs out, what kind of people are hanging out with the king. And the king is Jesus Christ. And so we're going to take a look at this morning the kind of people and the requirements that Jesus has for those who want to hang out with Jesus. Recently and related, I was hanging out in a bar, a local bar here in Middletown, and the band was playing an acoustic set there. A couple of months ago, we got rained out. We're supposed to play outside, and the local bar there asked us, why don't you play inside here tonight? So we did, and we took it inside and broke it down, and myself and Joe and Paul and Laura and Stephanie, we all went in and started playing some of our tunes and our songs, and it was funny because in between our songs, we'd play a little bit of Pearl Jam, and then we would break that into a little bit of Sia and a couple of U2 songs, of course. And, it was interesting because the drinks were flowing, and everybody's in there having a drink and having a really good time, actually. I understand, alcohol was contributing to that. And then there was this husband and wife. They started dancing in front of us like there was nobody else in the room. You know what I'm talking about? And then there were other people coming up and like, man, Freebird, man. Making requests, giving us 50s. That was cool. So you guys tithe better than people at the church. But that was an uncomfortable laugh, wasn't it? So they're interacting with us. And in between songs, Paul, our singer, would say, hey, we're from Stone's Throw Church. And we'd love for you to come out and visit us and come out. And maybe some of you sitting here this morning are a result of that. And we're glad that you're here this morning. And I thought as, another guy was talking to me and he was obviously not going to remember the conversation the next morning. I thought, is this really who we're trying to reach as a church? Are we really trying to reach these people? And then at a recent concert, another one that we did, one of the guys in the band was in between sets, was doing drugs behind the building. And he came up to me and said, we would love for you guys to come play with us. But you're in a church? We said, yeah, we're in a church, and we'd love to play with you guys as well. He said, we play in some pretty rough places, but you're in a church? And he kept on coming back to that, you're in a church, and he's obviously high as well. And he said to us, I used to go to church. And I thought, is this really the kind of person that we want to come to church? And the answer is a resounding yes. The answer is a resounding yes. So if you're one of those people that came and you're hanging out with us here this morning, the answer is a resounding yes. We are glad that you are here this morning. We're happy that you're here this morning. And I think that the bar that we played in and those concerts that we've done and some of the outreach that you guys have done in some of the shelters around the area and some of the soup kitchens and the food kitchens and when you're getting down with people where people are really at, I think that resembles more of Jesus' court than sometimes the church represents. I think that is the King's court. And I think that when Jesus came down and he lived his life among us, he wanted us to get this idea into our head to say, these are the kinds of people that I want to hang out with and that I want you as the church, as my body, I want you to hang out with them. I want you to be with them. I want you to tell them about me. The King's court looks like drunks and hookers and prostitutes and addicts and partiers and homeless people and hurting people and diseased people. That's what the King's court looks like. That's who Jesus is inviting to his court. These are the kinds of people Jesus ate with. Sadly, I think that we sometimes as the church and as those outside of the church might attest to, they might read these Gospels, those outside of the church. I think if they were to read these Gospels and they kind of get the picture, hey, these Pharisees are the enemies of Jesus, they might start seeing a little bit of a picture of their experience with the church. You following me? When they read that, they might say, this looks like the people who go to church, the people Jesus is yelling at. And I pray that's not the case for Stone's Throw. I pray that's not the case with us. I pray that we want to be in the King's court and we see ourselves not as holy people saying, come eat with Jesus, but we see ourselves as sinners, as beggars as well, going to other beggars and saying, I'm not Jesus, but let me point you to Jesus. Come on into the court so you can see not me and not our church and how great we are, but you can see how great Jesus is. That's the goal of Stone's Throw Church. It's very simple, isn't it?